Hi Tiptoe, this is video number 2, a video response to your random confessions video. My first confession being this was not the video I had planned. I was wanting to do a thank you video for Pyperh as well, to go along with the one that I did for you, and a lot has happened since then. I have wanted to make several other videos, and just life gets crazy and it doesn't happen. But I was out taking my dog for a walk out in the park, and it's the only space I have to myself to make a video, so I sat down and I'm making a video. Confession number 2, I guess, would be the video along with the one that I wanted to thank Pyperh for was like a get to know me kind of video. So I told you I live down here in Oregon. I love it. It's, as you can see, very green, and it's beautiful, as you know, living up in Washington. But my life has changed a lot since that first video that I made. At the time, I was living at my grandpa's house. My grandpa has since passed away, and I'm moving back in. I moved back into my mom's house, where I sleep on the living room floor. And I have, just before my grandpa passed, about maybe a month before, I got my dream job at a vet clinic, which is what I am going to school for, is vet medicine. And that was one of the things I wanted to mention in the thank you to Pyperh video, was that though she went into human medicine, I really liked that she was going into the medical field, because that was what I had chosen as well. And whoops, he tipped over the camera, bud. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? But I just always liked listening to her videos of when she got her job at the hospital, and she was really excited to be doing what she wanted, and that's what I love about working at my job at the vet clinic. But it's an extremely stressful job. It's very short-staffed where I work, so I don't know much, but I do a lot, and then I make mess-ups, and it stresses me out, and it's more of a frustration that I have with myself, that if I had stuck to school and gone diligently and focused more on school than work, I would be able to do everything there. I'd be a certified tech, and I could do all that I wanted. I'd make enough money to get a place of my own and not be living on the floor at my mom's house. But just a lot of stuff within the past 2 months. And then before that, I was planning on making a video, but never got a chance, because I feel really weird making a video when other people are in the house and can hear me talking to myself, and at the park there's nobody here. Nobody seems to care. I did also want to respond to a couple of the things that you said in your video. One of them being, I wrote them down because I knew I'd forget. So in order, the one where you were talking about telling people your goals, and then because you're telling them it's not happening, that just reminded me of one of the videos that you've done talking about the witch's pyramid and the daring to keep silent. And that was what I was thinking might happen if you just tell people and they are putting their energy into your goal, and that just kind of sabotages what you're wanting to do. That just, you were wondering if there was anybody that could help you out with that, so maybe you answered it for yourself in one of your older videos. And the next one was, you were talking about low maintenance friendships and people wanting to they have to put an effort before you're willing to put an effort. That kind of made me laugh because one of my best friends is very much that way. She won't put any effort into a new friendship if nobody else does, if the other person doesn't try. And even with maintaining friendships, she's very much the same way. And in that way, I think her and I are very opposite. I have friends that we were friends in high school, they moved away, we don't talk every day, but when we do, we'll catch up, or they live somewhere else in the country or in the state, and I'll just be like, hey, mind if I come visit? And it's a trip to see an old friend. Sure, we don't talk all the time, but it's still a friendship I'd like to keep, and it's a low maintenance friendship. I don't have to talk to them every day. And you know, my best friend is very much not that way. If they're not gonna, you know, talk to her and spark up conversation, she's not gonna make the effort to go visit them or try to keep that friendship going. And like I said, I'm the opposite. I very much enjoy keeping older friendships, and it is extra fun when that person lives farther away. I have a friend that lives in Hawaii, so I know I can go there and visit sometime, catch up with an old friend, spend some time in a place I've never been, and when I get there, I know it'll be great. Oh, another confession I guess I could share would be, so this last summer, I took my very first trip ever. I've never, I went out of Oregon once, and that was to Washington when I was a kid. And I remember bits and pieces, not much, but I've never been anywhere beyond there. And this was my very first trip on a plane. I went to Ireland, very long trip if you've never been on a plane. I will admit I got sick. I did not realize that you're supposed to keep drinking water, and I didn't do that, and by the time we got to London, I was just half dead and could barely stand up and was falling asleep on my friend's shoulder, and it wasn't, that part wasn't fun, but being there was wonderful. Like I said, I'd never traveled before. It was great. I went with one of my other best friends. She is absolutely wonderful, and I would not have made it there without her. She has been my little guardian angel, you could say. But since then, that little spark of wanderlust has struck, and my second trip that I have planned is to go this summer to San Francisco, again, a place I've never been. I have an aunt that was born there and grew up around the city. I'm taking her with me. She's excited to go. I'm going with my sister. That's going to be a lot of fun. I already reserved the hostel for 3 nights. I'm really, really excited. And after that, I'm thinking do the Hawaii trip, Scotland. I have family that lives up in Washington, and when I'm there, if you'd want to meet, I'd be totally up for that. Swing by. I know there's cute little Airbnbs or hostels around Port Angeles, and I think that'd be pretty fun. So, confession, I'd love to meet sometime. I think that would be great to meet one of my heroes. This is my little guy. This is Paco. You wanna say hi? No. He's very confused as to why I'm sitting and talking to myself. Oh, bud. Oh, bud. Yeah. Just sit. Good boy. No, stay. Stay. Yeah, he's very confused. And going down my little list here, let's see, what was the... Oh, one of the things was you were talking about your opinion on reincarnation, and I have to 100% agree. I always hear people say you're reincarnated into this or that. I always thought of it as you go to wherever you go, Summerland, heaven, whatever you so choose to call it, and that you're there for a while and then you come back. And so when I heard you say that, oh, that struck a chord. I was super excited because I didn't think anybody else thought that way. I haven't read it in any books. I didn't see it anywhere. I've never heard anybody say it apart from you. So that was really exciting. I have really bad handwriting, and I'm trying to understand my little notes that I made to myself. You were talking about not being perfect and everybody making mistakes, and taking, if you make a mistake, taking credit for it. And that is a big thing with me, especially at work. With my new job, I make lots of mistakes, and when I make one, I know I do, I take full responsibility for it. Especially working at a vet clinic, if I make a mistake, it could be a big one. It could affect an animal's life, and if that's going to come down on somebody, it's going to come down on me if it's my fault. And I'm really hoping that the people that I work with get that, because there have been little things here and there that happen, and I don't know, I can't really explain it, but I don't know if they think those things are my fault, if I'm doing them, but I can guarantee I'm not. And if I was, I hope that they know I would take the credit for it. I would stand up and say, hey, that was my bad, that happening over there, that was my fault. And so you're not the only one that if you make a mistake that you stand up and take credit for it. And you were talking about society being overly sensitive and then just completely rude, and I 100% agree with that as well. I think that whole video you made, I was just like, yes, I get it, I know exactly what you're talking about. To respond to your conversations, that would be like, okay, another confession then. A dream of mine would be to sit down and have a real, true conversation with you. Just those videos that you've made, I always have something to respond to, which is why I'm writing them down to kind of try to respond to them without ever meeting you, but I still feel the need and desire to go ahead and respond to those. And you were talking about conversations with your mom and how you love your mom. She's your mom, absolutely love her, but yet she drives you up the wall. That would very much be, again, me and my mom. I absolutely love her. She has been the rock in my entire life. But there are certain things that she does that just drive me nuts. Being that I have to sleep on the floor in the living room, when she gets up, she's the first one up usually. So I'm still laying on the ground in the living room, and I can hear her. She just talks to herself. She'll narrate everything she does. Oh, I gotta open the fridge. I gotta get this out of there. I love her, but sometimes I wish she would just stop. You don't need to narrate every little thing you do. And like I said, I love her, but living together, especially in the tight quarters that we're in, it's a little single wide mobile home, 2-bedroom. My sister gets the other bedroom, hence why I'm on the floor. And even the bedroom itself, I couldn't sleep in there. There's not enough room between where her bed ends and the wall starts. It's a really tight, confined place. And I have a lot of pets. So in the house now, there is my mom's dog, my sister's dog, my sister's cat, my 2 rats, my 2 parrots. And when I lived at my grandpa's house, I also had chickens that I absolutely love. I just went and bought them food, actually. And they live with a friend of mine, and I know she takes great care of them, and I'll still buy them food and take it over, and I'll go by and see them and collect eggs. And there was one, totally getting sidetracked here, but I've had, I want to say 6 chickens total. There was one that, though it might sound weird because she was a chicken, I believe, at least, that she was one of my familiars. I have had a total of 3 that I can think of. My first one being a hamster, weirdly enough, that I had as a kid before I knew anything about familiars and pagans and anything like that. But thinking back on it, that hamster was too unique to not be a familiar. He was just very, I don't know, very bonded to me. He'd get out of his cage at night and come find me. Even when we'd have people over, it'd be like a bunch of kids sleeping on the floor. He'd get out of his cage and come to me specifically, you know, ignoring all the other kids. And then my sister's cat was my second familiar. And then just after she died, I realized that chicken was my third. She sometimes wake up and there she'd be in the house just waiting for me, or I could go outside and call her by name and she'd come running. And when I lost her, that was very sad. I had lost all 3 of them, but the rest of my chickens, since I moved out, they had to go to my friend's house, and I went over there the other day, and my chicken familiar's sister, I think, hates it there. She wants to come home, but of course there is no home for her to go back to. And because I went in, all the chickens were outside, I went into the coop and she followed me in, and she just walks right up to me, she looks at me, I pick her up, and she just sits there and cuddles. It's just, I think the other chickens just beat her up and she wants to go home. But that made me cry. I'm like, oh, it was so sweet. And she was always the crazy chicken. She'd sit on the eggs that weren't hers and defend them with her life. And I don't know. I'm a big animal person, hence my job choice. I want to be a vet tech. My number of pets, oh, and a fish. I have a fish. So the dog, the cat, the birds, the rats, the fish. The one pet I really, really want to get, well, there's lots of other pets I want to get, but I really want to get some sort of reptile. And I feel like that would kind of complete my little collection. I have, thinking of it in the elements, I should say, I have birds, they represent air. Fish represents water, of course. The rats, the cat, and the dog, earth. The only pet that I'm missing to represent fire would be like a snake or a tortoise or a lizard or something. I keep telling myself no, because I don't have a place of my own to put it, and I'm saving up to get a place, although it's also finding one that will accept the number of pets that I have. It's fairly difficult. I knew when I got all of my pets that each one I added would just make it more difficult for me to eventually find a place. But I wouldn't. I would not ever give them up. I see people posting, I have to rehome my dog, my new apartment won't let me keep it. And in my mind, I'm like, well, then why are you moving to that apartment if you can't take your dog that you call your child? I mean, this little guy, Paco, come here. He is honestly like a baby to me. He will cuddle and love, and he's such a baby. And he's probably gonna sit. Yeah. Move him over there. But yeah, I'm still looking for a place that I can take all my critters, and I feel like this is just a nonsense video. I'm just talking and talking and talking. But it's something I've wanted to do for a while. Just make a not, I don't know if it's a rant video, but a little more about me kind of video, which is, like I said, what I had wanted to do after I did the thank you video to Pyperh, which I guess I might as well do now. So, Pyperh, I wanted to thank you as I thanked Tiptoe Chick for making your videos and putting yourself out there. I connected a lot with yours because I feel like we're, in some certain ways, similar. We're both big into books. I work in a bookstore. My book collection is crazy, and all the free books we get, I really should stop, but I don't think I can. The medical field, and once you got into the job that you wanted, you were super excited, and once I got into the job that I have been wanting, I'm super excited, and we're fairly close in age. I think our lives are very different. I don't have any sort of relationship going on at the moment. I'm not married, I don't have a kid, but your videos, along with Tiptoes, were definitely like the tag team video that you guys did, were very helpful to me, and I very much appreciate you making them and still making videos and sharing what's going on in your life, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. So I have some more little notes here written to myself, but well, I guess my whole video henceforth, or so far, would be agreeing very, very much so with the when it rains it pours. It does. It feels like once after I made that first video, it was just like my living in the house with my grandpa. There was me, my sister, my and my uncle and my grandpa, and it's a full house, and sometimes not the greatest place to be. Definitely not the calmest, and I can honestly not remember the last, maybe I can, the last time my life was actually calm and peaceful, and I loved living where I did, would be when I lived with my aunt. I absolutely love her. She's the one that's going to San Francisco with me, and I loved living at my grandpa's when it was just me and him, or even if it would have been just me, him, and my sister. But then, I guess another confession, my family is a bit much. The one side of it is a bit much, and there's all sorts of crazy things. There's people with mental illnesses, drug problems, craziness. So living with that side of my family, there was never a non-stressful moment. Even just driving home, I could just feel my whole body tensing. So being at my mom's is less stress in the fact that I don't hate going home. It's just when I'm there, there's no space. There's no room for any of me. All of my witchy stuff, you could say, is all boxed up and sitting under my sister's bed, and it will sit there until I can find a place of my own to go, or until I can save up enough money to get to where I want to be. And it's funny, one of my best friends, the one that I went to Ireland with, I love this analogy she used. She was describing my life as if it were an hourglass. Like I said, I had never traveled. I lived pretty much in McMinnville. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything exciting. I have big confession here. I have never in my life been camping. Ever. When I was a kid, my mom never wanted to take us because she knew it would be a lot of work, and then as an adult, I didn't have any of the stuff to go. I didn't know people that would also be able to go and want to camp in the way that I would want to. I wouldn't want to go in a camper. I'd want to go in a tent and sleeping bag and that kind of stuff. And so I lived in this safe little bubble, the top part of this hourglass, and then living at my grandpa's would be coming close to that small part of the hourglass. And at this point, right now, I am in the tiniest part of that hourglass, just waiting to crash and fall. And once I get past this point in my life, I truly feel that it is going to be wonderful. I will have a place of my own to do as I wish and set it up and to make it my home, to have a home of my own for the first time ever. Which also makes me sad because I'm 23 and I know there are plenty of other 23-year-olds out there that have places of their own, but at the same time I know they don't have any pets. That's not something I'm willing to sacrifice, or they, I don't know, some rely on money from their parents to make it work. I don't know. So I am just in that little hourglass, just waiting to kind of follow the bottom, I guess, which sounds like a bad thing, but I'm actually really excited for that to happen. And this summer I feel like it's going to be wonderful. I have the trip to San Francisco. My friend who went to Ireland with me, she's going to take me on my very first camping trip, and she's declaring this the summer of the girl. We're gonna do all the fun stuff. We're gonna go camping whenever we can. We're gonna go anywhere we please. I'm gonna do. It's gonna be fun. I absolutely love hanging out with her. She's, like I said, basically my guardian angel, and I'm really looking forward to this summer. I wasn't looking forward much to this year, and then the year just got so terrible with my family, losing my grandpa, losing my home at my grandpa's house, but I know something better's coming. Something better always comes. And I think Paco just spotted a little bird. Anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and make this video response to you, and I hope it finds you well, and I don't seem like too much of a babbling crazy person. I'm a lot calmer making this video than I was the first. I don't know if it's because I'm sitting in the sunshine or I'm outside or what. I really don't know, but I'm very glad to be making it right now, and I really look forward to your response, and I really hope to hear from you. Bye.